Hello students, so welcome to my next online class, and this is a continuation video of the previous chapter, that is physical quantities and measurement. In my previous tutorial we have started this chapter and I have explained few topics from this chapter. So we have come across few topics which I will recapitulate now. I will make a summary of those topics and I will continue today's new topics, right? So you see, in the previous class we have come across physical quantities. Now what do you mean by physical quantities? That means quantities that can be measured are known as physical quantities, okay, which we can measure. Either it may be in lengthwise, either it may be mass wise or time or anything, any physical quantities when you can measure, that is called here as physical quantity. Now you see, next we have fundamental quantities are those quantities which don't depend on other quantities. So here any quantities which don't depend on other quantities, like speed equals to distance per unit time. That means speed is depending upon distance and time. So speed is a derived unit, but whereas distance is calculated in meter, that is length, and time is calculated in second. So distance and time, these are the fundamental units, and speed is the derived unit. So these things already we have come across last day. So fundamental quantities are those quantities which don't depend on other quantities. Derived quantities are those quantities which depends upon fundamental quantity, right? So just now I told distance. When I say distance is a fundamental quantity, whereas speed means distance per unit time. Formula is speed equals to distance per unit time. That means speed depends upon distance, it depends upon time. So therefore this speed is a derived quantity. Okay, so this was fundamental quantity and derived quantity. Now you see, now few physical quantities I have written, so you need to tell that which one is fundamental and which one is derived. So length is a fundamental unit, right? Similarly, temperature. So what is the unit of length here? Generally you take SI unit as a meter and CGS unit as centimeter. Okay, so temperature unit is Kelvin, SI unit is Kelvin, so it is also a fundamental unit. Okay, speed, unit of speed is meter per second. That means speed is depending upon length also, depending upon time also, therefore it is a derived unit. Luminous intensity, candela. Okay, so its unit is candela, that means it has only one unit, therefore it is a fundamental. Density, mass per unit volume, that means mass and volume, it depends upon mass and volume. Mass is in kg and volume, whether it be cube and cuboid, side cube, so therefore this is also a derived unit. And acceleration means change in velocity per unit time, so therefore this acceleration is also a derived unit. Okay, so this is how we classify which physical quantity is fundamental and which physical quantity is here derived. Okay, also we have come across in our last class the volume, the amount of space occupied by an object is called a volume. So how much space an object is occupying there, so likewise we define volume. So volume of cube is side cube and volume of cuboid, that is length into breadth into height. Okay, if you consider a geometry box, or if you consider this duster, that means it has length, okay, it has breadth and it has height. So this is in shape of cuboid, so we measure volume first like that. Okay, next there was a question in your book, what is the difference between volume and capacity then? Capacity means maximum volume of a liquid that can be stored in a container. Suppose you have two bottles, one is of 1 liter and one is of 750 milliliter. Okay, so 750 milliliter, so what is the capacity of 750 milliliter bottle? That is 750 milliliter, because a bottle of 750 milliliter can hold or can contain a liquid of 750 milliliter only, so its maximum capacity is here 750 milliliter. Similarly, 1 liter bottle capacity is what? 1 liter, so it can hold. But if you pour half of the bottle of 1 liter with the liquid, then we say that the volume occupied by liquid in the bottle is suppose 250 milliliter. So that is the capacity and that is the volume. Okay, so this is the difference between volume and capacity. So how much liquid is contained in that container, that is its volume, but how much that container can contain that liquid, that is its capacity. Next, area, amount of space covered by a closed surface. That means if I say what is the area of a rectangle, then you will say sir length and length into breadth. So that means whenever any object is resting on a surface, so only its length and its breadth is in contact with the surface. So therefore, how much area is occupied by object, that by the closed object. Okay, so we consider, we term it as area, and the SI unit of area is meter square and CGS unit of area is centimeter square. Okay, so apart from this area and volume, we also have in our chapter density. So define density. So density means here density, it is defined as mass per unit volume. Okay, mass per unit volume, that means density equals to mass by volume. So density depends upon mass. More the mass, more the quantity of matter contained in that object, more will be its density. And also it depends upon volume. If the volume is very large, then density will be very less. Okay, first you tell me when an object sinks and when an object floats. I repeat, some object when you place in a top of water, some object you will see that it will go inside the water, and some object you will find that it is floating on the top of that water. When does this happen? So this happens when the density of this pen, if it is more than the density of water, then it will go inside. If the density of this pen is less than the density of water, then it will float. Okay, so this is the main concept. If this weight will be more, means density is more. If density is more, then it will go inside. If the density is less, then it will float on the top. Now you see, there was one question, an iron nail sinks inside the water, whereas a ship made up of iron floats on the top of the water. Okay, so reason we will find it here. A iron nail, suppose this is the water and this is the nail. Iron nail is sinking inside the water. Okay, but whereas you will consider a ship, okay, you will find that a big ship is just floating on top of the water. Now reason behind, you see, the density of iron nail is more than the density of water, so it sinks inside. Okay, first reason why iron nail sinks inside, the density of iron nail is more than the density of water, so it sinks inside. But whereas a ship made up of iron does not sink inside, because there is a hollow space at its bottom. Hollow space means, now when you will see a ship, you see from up like this. Just a minute, I'll just try to explain. You can consider this one has a ship, so this has to be ship, right? Now when the ship is on the water, it looks like this, but inside there is a gap. There is a gap between two ship. So you see, in the ship body, as there is a gap, there is a hollow space. So what happens? Water goes inside, and this increases the volume. Okay, so maximum volume increases. Now you see what happens if in the end part here, if the water will go inside, because inside hollow part is there, vacant space is there. Okay, so when you find the ship is like this, when you see from down, actually there is a gap. There is a gap below of the ship. So water will go inside and volume will increase. When volume will increase, this density will decrease. Now we know when the density is less than the density of water, so average volume increases. Okay, so increase in average volume decreases the average density, so it floats on the top of the water. So increase in average volume decreases the density, so a ship made up of iron floats on the top of the water, whereas a nail made up of iron sinks inside. So this was the density, and you see density is depending upon mass and it is depending upon volume. That is two factors upon which density is mainly depending upon, like mass and volume. So what is the unit of mass here? So mass means kg and volume means your meter cube. So therefore SI unit of density is kg per meter cube. Okay, now when I say CGS unit, that is centimeter grams again unit, is kg means your gram and meter means your centimeter cube. Okay, and 1 gram per centimeter cube equals to 1000 kg per meter cube. So this is the relation between CGS unit and SI unit. So make sure you don't forget this relation. So generally why we calculate a density? Because this density of different substance is different. Some substance may have a same shape, they may have a same size, but they differ from each other because of density. Like you see, a sack is filled with cotton. Okay, when a sack is filled with cotton and when a sack is filled with suppose sugar, when they are placed side by side, we cannot identify that which sack is containing sugar and which sack is containing cotton. But we know that if we measure that one, then we will find the density of the sugar will be more definitely than that of cotton. Okay, so because density depends upon mass, so mass of sugar definitely it will be more than that of cotton, though they have contained in a same shape of mass sack. Okay, so this is a difference between that every substance has different density and they are unique to each other. May they have a same shape or size, but in terms of density that will be different. Okay, so density calculation also plays a vital role. So to calculate density, first we should know the mass and volume. So density of few substances are fixed, like ice density is 920 kg per meter cube, whereas 0.92 gram per centimeter cube. Coal, aluminium, steel, in terms of liquid, cooking oil, glycerine, water, seawater, milk, blood, so these densities are fixed. Okay, so this densities does not change with respect to time. Now to measure any density of a solid, we must know what will be its mass and what will be its density. So once we know its mass and volume here, then we can easily calculate its density. Okay, so like for example, what is the volume of a cuboid? Cuboid means a rectangular block that is length into breadth into height. So we will find its volume from here and we will measure it by physical balance, that means beam balance. Okay, so in the grocery shop, you know that when you go to buy any sugar or any potato, they are using the physical balance. Okay, that is beam balance. So same way they will calculate the mass and they will calculate the volume. So if you divide, you will get the density. Now question comes, if the object is irregular, it is not in shape of rectangle, not in the shape of sphere, then how we will find its density? So for that object we can use this method. Okay, so what is written here, you see, determination of volume by using a measuring cylinder. That means there is a measuring cylinder and there is a marking in that cylinder. Okay, so first of all we want to calculate the density of this stone. So what we have done, actually we have calculated this density of this stone by first tying this stone with a string. So after tying this stone with a string, we have filled this cylinder. Initially this cylinder was empty, now we have filled it half. Let us consider that volume is V1. Okay, after that what we have done, we have dipped that stone inside this cylinder. So once we have dipped that stone tied with a string inside the cylinder, water level has came up. So initial volume was V1, but when we have placed the stone inside the water, water rised up. Now the volume is V2. So what is the difference of volume? So that is V2 minus V1. V1 means initial case when stone was not put inside. But when we put the stone inside, water came up, now volume became V2. Okay, volume increased, that's why I am telling V2. Okay, so what is the increased volume? V2 minus V1. So V2 minus V1 is the volume of the stone and its mass is calculated by beam balance. Okay, so mass by volume, now you see here density equals to mass by volume. Now what is the volume? That is a change in the volume, that is V2 minus V1. So likewise we can calculate the density of an irregular solid like a stone. But in case if we want to calculate the density of a liquid, then what we will do first? First we will take one bottle and we will measure its mass, that is empty bottle. Okay, let us consider that mass is m. Now we will calculate the mass of that bottle containing liquid. Suppose I fill that bottle with petrol. Now when that bottle is totally filled with petrol, now its mass is m. Okay, so what is the mass of the liquid then? This was filled and this was empty. So m minus m, capital M minus small m, is the mass of the liquid. Okay, and we know total volume means is total capacity, total volume of that bottle. Okay, that is V. So density equals to mass by volume. So mass is m minus m, volume is V. So this is how we calculate the density of a liquid, and this one was density of an irregular solid. And this method, that if we know mass and volume and it is a perfect shape, the object which density you are finding that has a perfect shape, either rectangle or triangle or cuboid or triangle or sphere. Okay, so in that cases we can find easily, and this method we use in terms of calculating the density of a liquid. You see, one example is here. A piece of steel has a volume of 10 centimeter cube and a mass of 80 gram. That means volume is also given and mass is given 80 gram. What is its density in gram per centimeter cube and kg per meter cube? So first we will write in our copy, volume equals to 10 centimeter cube, mass equals to 80 gram. So density means mass by volume. So 80 by 10, 0 cancel, that is 8 gram per centimeter cube. And just now I told that how will you convert gram per centimeter cube to kg per meter cube? By multiplying by 1000. So 8 into 1000 when you multiply, that means 8000 kg per meter cube. So this is the answer. So that means this question has two answers. First answer is 8 gram per centimeter cube and next answer is 8000 gram per kg per meter cube. Similarly, we have other question. What is the mass of 5 meter cube of cement of density this much? Now mass is given and density is given. Sorry, volume is given here. 5 meter cube means the volume. Okay, meter cube is the unit of volume. So volume is given and density is given. You need to find mass. We know density equals to mass by volume. Density, you see, density equals to mass by volume. So mass will be volume into density. Mass equals to density into volume, or volume into density, same. So multiply the values. After substituting here, you will get 10,000 kg. So what is the mass here? 10,000 kg. So likewise, you will find the other numericals also. Same now, which one I have explained you, that stone measurement density, that is given here. Mass of a stone, let us consider 50 gram. When it is immersed in water, the level rises from 45 milliliter to 75 milliliter. So water was 45 milliliter. Now when you put stone in it, it became 75 milliliter. So how much it has increased? 75 minus 45. Okay, that is 30 milliliter, and 1 milliliter means 1 centimeter cube. And density equals to mass by volume. Mass is how much? 50. Okay, and volume how much it came? 30. Now when you will divide, you will get the answer 1.6 gram per centimeter cube. Okay, so likewise numericals are there, you will just see. And next topic we have speed is equals to distance by time. Okay, so how we are going to define speed here? Speed means here how much distance covered by a body, by how much time taken. Okay, so if you take less time and if you cover more distance, then we say that your speed is more. If you take more time and cover less distance, then we say that speed is less. So speed equals to distance by time. Distance unit is meter and time unit is second, so it is meter per second. Okay, and other units are kilometer per hour. So this is the main question here: how can we convert kilometer per hour to meter per second? So kilometer per hour to meter per second. Now when I say 1 kilometer per hour, this means what? 1 kilometer by 1 hour. 1 kilometer means 1000 meter and 1 hour means 60 minutes, or 1000 meter 60 and 1 minute equals to 60 second. Okay, 1010 got cancelled, that means 10 by 6 is a 36 meter per second. This is meter, this is second. Now 2 5s are 10, 2 18s are 36, that means 5 by 18 meter per second. So from here what we have understood, that if your answer is in kilometer per hour and you need to convert to meter per second, you have to multiply by 5 by 18. Okay, but if your question is in meter per second and you need to convert to kilometer per hour, you need to multiply by 18 by 5. Okay, do remember this one. Kilometer per hour to meter per second, you have to multiply by 5 by 18, and meter per second to kilometer per hour, 18 by 5. Okay, so like for example, if I say 72 kilometer per hour convert to meter per second, then you will say 72 into 5 by 18. Okay, 18 4 72, 4 5 is 20, so 20 meters per second is the answer. Okay, so likewise we convert kilometer per hour to meter per second. Okay, so we can compare the speed of two objects also. So whose speed is maximum? If a object is covering more distance in less time, then we say that speed is more. If an object covers less distance in more time or the same time, then we say that speed is less. Okay, so likewise this exercise question and answers you will be doing by yourself. In my next video I will give those answers. Okay, first I want you to solve these answers from your textbook. Okay, so note down the answers in your textbook, that will be your homework, and note down the questions in your exercise book also, so that in the next class when I just give the answers, so you can tell you with your answers. Okay, so till then, thank you.